So you want to start your blog, but the idea of starting the blog is a little bit scary because you're wondering who even would want to read what I'm writing. I have no idea. I totally get that, and this video is for you so you know who your reader is going to be for your blog. My name is Michelle Keneally, and this is a video series that I'm creating called Create Your Blog Plan. This series, in today's video, is all about who is your reader going to be. Now you can watch this video as a standalone. You don't have to necessarily watch the entire series, but if you want to see the rest of the videos that go along with this blog plan series, go ahead and find the description below so you can see the different videos that go with this particular series. I'm just waving at you over here from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I am creating my own blog and bringing you along on the journey to, really just hold myself accountable to creating my own blog and making that happen for myself. I know a lot of us, especially if you're a mom like me, you can allow yourself to get really busy with all of the everyday things, and you can, say you have these goals and you can say you're going to accomplish something, but we find ourselves months down the line looking at, notebooks maybe that we have written, or something in our calendar where we wrote down that we're going to achieve something by a certain date, and then we don't get there. And so what this entire series is for and intended to do is to, number one, honestly kick, myself into gear. And then while I'm kicking myself into gear, bring you with me and help you along your journey as well. So I'm not sure if you've already started a blog or if you're thinking about starting a blog, but this series is for the person who is looking at potentially starting a blog so that they can build an online business while working from home. But it's especially intended for you, the woman who does not want to be attached to your phone all the time, because you do prioritize your children and you want to be present in their life, not attached to your computer all the time. So you'll definitely want to click in the description below to see what the other videos are and, figure out if this is something that's for you, and hopefully my journey will inspire you to start your very own. So today's lesson is all about who you are writing for, right? So don't you think it's so much easier to write a letter to somebody or a note to somebody when you know who you're writing to? I know I don't find myself writing a to-do list for my husband saying to whom it may concern. I write directly to my husband and I say, hey, so I really was wondering if you had time to do this, or if I created, a honey-do list or a grocery list, or, really anything. It's so much easier just to be very clear on who I'm writing it to. I mean, I know it sounds kind of silly and kind of obvious, but when somebody comes across your blog post and they don't know who it's written for, it's going to be really hard for them to feel connected to what you're writing and to cause them to stop and want to read the rest of it. I mean, I feel like, have you ever noticed when you come across, a video or a podcast or an article of whatever kind, and if it doesn't resonate with you, you really lose interest quickly. But what does draw your attention when you come across a video or something that you're reading is the person who's writing seems to be writing directly to you. So if that's how you feel when you come across something that doesn't feel like it's personalized towards you, that's how your readers are going to feel as well. And we're bombarded with all this social media, and I know for me, I don't watch a whole lot of TV anymore because I just can't take all of the garbage that comes at us every single day. So in order for us to, actually reach through, whether it's a camera, whether it's, through Google on the internet, when someone comes across our particular blog post, we want them to feel as though within the first few sentences that we get them. and that this article is intended for them. So imagine, if you will, if you're writing that note to your teenage son that says, hey, don't forget, after school, I'm going to pick you up and I'm going to take you to your soccer practice. Your car's in the shop, or, whatever the note might be. But when you find a note in your kitchen, for example, that someone's maybe written, you're going to scan it to see if it's for you. And if it's not for you, you're probably you're going to get nosy and find out who it's for. So I guess maybe that wasn't a very good example. Okay, scratch that example. Some of us get a little bit nosy, but you get the idea. You get the idea that we want to know, is this for me? And we're going to scan it very quickly when we come across something. If you're going to Google and you're searching for an answer on a certain topic, you're going to see the first few answers populating because Google goes and they find, what they think might be helpful answers for you. And those articles that they're finding are most likely written by bloggers, book authors, news articles, some person that has put together this information on their website, whatever it might be. And so when you see these articles and you scan through which answer you're going to even give a chance to, or figure out if this is what you need, what answer you're actually looking for, you're most likely scanning for relatability. So if you decide who you're writing for and you start to write directly to that person, it's going to become obvious to them that you meant this article for them. Does that make sense? I mean, what I really like about deciding who my reader is that there's no guessing who I'm writing for, and I can be myself. Like, I can just decide, hey, I know I'm not for everyone, and I don't want to be for everyone. I know that there are going to be some people who get really annoyed by me. There's going to be some people who are super inspired by me. There are going to be some people that, blow me off, and it doesn't really matter. What the point is that I need to reach that one person that I can help, and I write for her. I mean, whatever you're writing about in your blog, it's not a generic answer. You're not going to just create a post that says, well, you could do this, or maybe this could happen. I'm not really sure. If you came across an article that was very unclear and very wishy-washy, you're going to ignore it. Your brain is automatically going to be like, next. I mean, it's kind of like, when you get those generic gifts, you get like, you go to an event or something, or somebody buys you a gift and it's very generic and you're like, oh, thanks. So that's exactly what it's like when you write your blog posts. If you don't write directly to your person, it's going to feel like that generic gift that you're like, I don't even know why did you buy that for me? Why bother? I know some people get really annoyed by gift cards. I'm not going to lie. I love gift cards because when I go to Target, there is never a time, well, I take that back. I've gotten really good at going to Target and not spending like $1 bajillion, but I have to write a list and I have to like stick to it anyway. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a favorite store and you would rather people just not pick out something for you, or you have something in mind, then fine. I just got sidetracked. Sorry. I think you get the idea. If you write exactly to that one person who you're trying to help, they're going to hear you, and it's going to cause them to actually sit down and read exactly what you're writing on your article, which will then, if they find you as a person that they can really connect to, lead them to discovering what else it is that you talk about, or what else it is that you help people with. Okay? And that's what you want to do. You want to capture someone's attention. You want to cause them to stop scrolling and to, dig around in your blog to find out if there are more things that you can help them with. Because as we know, and maybe you're not really sure yet, or you haven't learned this piece yet, but when someone comes, when you, let's think about yourself, like when you go online and you're looking for that perfect macaroon recipe, and I'm right, that when you go out and you see, one person makes the macaroon this way and another person makes a macaroon this way, one person uses these types of ingredients and that's just way out of your budget, and another person, uses these types of ingredients and that seems pretty realistic and it's within your wheelhouse of understanding, you're going to pay attention and listen to the person who is most likely to be like you. I mean, when I'm looking at Pinterest for recipes and I come across someone who does not, even live in the same neighborhood as me, where I don't shop at those stores to get those types of ingredients, I'm going to go, all right, which is the person that has the ingredients closest to what I actually have in my cabinet? And then if she and I click with each other, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dig around to see what else she talks about. Okay, so today's lesson is going to help you to do that, to become that person for your person. So today's lesson will help you to identify your ideal reader. You're also going to understand what your readers need and what is your reader frustrated by. Also, I want you to really think about, what does your reader want to accomplish? What skills can you teach your reader? And what does your reader care about? Ultimately, at the end of this, I want you to have a kind of a nice, map of what to blog about or who to ask what you should blog about. So go ahead and take a screenshot of this if you need to, so that you can create, or the answers to these questions, or brainstorm a little bit about what it is you could do to help your reader. So as a blogger and as a business owner, you really want to put yourself in the shoes of your ideal customer. And so since your business is basically in images and words, maybe videos, lessons, maybe something inspirational, it's important to imagine what your ideal client would want to see from you, okay? So just like a retail store thinks about their customers, you've got to think of your readers as if they're coming into your storefront to look around and decide if they're going to stay. So imagine that boutique that you've walked into and you look around and decide, is this store for me? This is what you want to create for your reader as well. I mean, honestly, think about your favorite store. Do you think that anything in the favorite store you go to is set up by accident? It isn't. They've done careful consideration to decide where to place things because they were thinking of you and how you actually shop and what you might be looking for, okay? So if you notice when you go to a store and say you're looking for a whisk, okay? So you're looking for a whisk because you're going to make macaroons. I have no idea if you use a whisk to make macaroons, but then you might need another tool when you're making your macaroons. And because they know you're looking for this whisk to make macaroons, they're going to also place that next thing you might need to make your macaroons. They're going to put everything together because they want to make it easy for you, and they want you to feel like they get you. So the first step in attracting your readers is to know them. And the second step is to market to them. So in today's exercise, I want you to create a client avatar so that you know exactly who you'll write to. And that way, you can write to help them, okay? So imagine that, the note that you're writing to your family member that's telling them what you need them to do or to accomplish today, and write as if you're personalizing your articles, okay? With this knowledge, you're going to be empowered to know how you can create something specifically for your person that only you can help her with. So now, even if your topic has already been written about, it doesn't matter. You can write it in a way that helps someone who hasn't been helped by anything else, okay? So just because you walk into a store and you're looking for that perfect whisk, you're not going to just buy a whisk because you're going to settle. Or maybe you will, and then you'll realize it's a waste of your money, and then you have to go buy another one. Imagine your blog just like that. You want to reach that one person who is looking for you. It doesn't matter if there's a ton of people out there talking about what you're talking about in your niche. That doesn't matter. It might have a lot of people, it might be really popular, but your way of writing could be the perfect thing for that perfect person. So grab your notebook and write down as much as you know about your ideal reader, okay? You can basically sort of create like a pen pal, okay? You can decide like, I'm going to be writing to this pen pal, over in that one place that I went, whatever. I don't care, okay? You're not trying to attract everyone, even if you are a people pleaser. You aren't here for the masses. You are here for that ideal person, and you want to attract the person that you can help. So here's another screenshot moment for you. Go ahead and take a screenshot and ask yourself these questions. Make a list about what is their gender? Who are they? Okay? What do they do for work? Where do they live? What is their financial situation? What are 3 things that keep them up at night? What are 3 things that make them happy? What are 3 things that make them afraid? What are 3 things that you like about them? And what are 3 things that would make their life easier? And here's another screenshot for you. Declare who your blog is for. Once you've narrowed down who your blog is for, ask yourself these 3 questions. The all-important question is, what do you want your reader to take away from your blog? It is not about you. And even if you're trying to make money, when you are writing, if you are writing as if you're trying to get something from the reader, that reader is going to run far to the hills, okay? You want to do this just for your reader, and you want them to feel like you did this for them, okay? So number 2, what value will you bring to your reader, right? And why will your blog be a good resource for them? If you make it about your reader, you will create huge fans. So once you know who your reader is, start taking research notes on these things that I'm going to be prompting you with. Become a scientist. I always say, become a scientist. In everything you do in your business, just if it doesn't work out, if you try something and it doesn't work out, tell yourself it didn't work out. You are an investigator. You are somebody who is trying to help someone else. And if your main focus is just on making money, it's going to be frustrating, and you're going to give up the first time something doesn't work out, or the first time you get any kind of rejection, or you have some feedback that isn't super positive. Make sure you understand you are a research analyst. I don't know, whatever you want to call it, okay? So document, where does your reader hang out? Are they on Instagram? Are they on Facebook? Are they on Pinterest? Are they on YouTube? What are they doing? Where do they hang out outside of the internet? Are they at school pickup? Are they, traveling the world? Who is your reader? And what language does your reader use? Okay, so document, how do they talk? What do they talk about? What's important to them in their language? How do they communicate in slang? Think about these things, because when you know that, you can write that way, and you can use that language that they use to reach them, because ultimately, again, you want to create a fan. So what is the most useful way for your reader to learn from you? What is the most useful way that your reader can actually learn from you? How can you format your blog post to actually help them? So here you can start to track and investigate what your ideal reader needs, because you will look specifically for information just for your reader. Remember I mentioned, if you haven't seen the first couple of videos, I'm going to teach you here that you as a blogger will become quite the researcher. I think a lot of times people think that as a blogger, they have to sound super smart or like a textbook or something really boring. But do you actually find yourself reading blogs that sound like a textbook? I think not. The other day it was really funny. Here's a side note. My daughter was singing in the back of the car about how she loves books and books love her. And then at the end of the song, she said, but grown-up books are boring. It was like, I love books, books love me. And then, I don't know. It was hilarious. She was just singing to herself, but grown-up books are boring. So it's just like that for your blog readers. Okay, so don't be afraid to use your blog readers' language. Once you know your reader, don't be afraid to incorporate your personality combined with the language that your reader may find intriguing to read. Because I feel if they feel, you even feel seen when your language is used, right? So if you use their verbiage, they're going to come back for more because they're going to feel like you are home to them. You get them. You speak their language. Just like when we're trying to introduce books to our children, we're going to choose books that they like and that they find entertaining and that uses language that they understand. Your reader is most likely you before you knew what you know, okay? So write out what you would have wanted to learn when you were first learning or going through your experience that you're actually writing about. So you got to detail who she is exactly so that when you write down or when you actually write your post that's going to help her, you can write to her. You can write just to her, to that one person. When you write to the one person, you can be heard over the masses of the people online. If you try to appeal to everyone, you're actually going to end up appealing to no one. When you write to one person, you will attract engaged readers who actually want to hear from you, okay? And the more engaged readers that you have, the more likely you're going to monetize your efforts because you will create fans who feel like you just get them, okay? And I'm going to talk about this a little bit further in more videos, but it's very important that you attract someone who actually wants to read what you're saying, because the more people who want to come back for more and more and more, you're going to start to build a tribe. You're going to start to build people who cannot wait to hear what you have to say next. So today's exercise is to create an ideal reader avatar, okay? So document who she is and what she needs from you. Write it all down. This way, when you write, you're going to remember who you're writing for and why you are doing it. If she becomes real in your mind, you're going to become dedicated to her so that she motivates you to actually keep going in your blog. I mean, it's kind of like these videos for me. I've been getting up, at 5 in the morning, taking a shower and getting ready to get myself presentable enough to make a video because I created an avatar in my mind of who I'm helping. Like, I've decided that it's worth it for me to get up early before my family gets going so I can build these videos to show her how exactly she can also build her very own blog, right? And step by step, I'm bringing her on the journey with me. I'm bringing you on the journey with me, okay? You are who I'm making this series for. And I know that if I don't get up and create these videos, that, I'm going to be not only letting myself down, but I'm going to lose the trust of you, and I don't want to do that. So if you write to your specific person and you've created an avatar in your mind of who she is, she might even be you. She might even be you. And I know that if you feel connected to your reader, you're going to keep showing up. So be really specific about who it is you're writing for. And if you keep going and you keep going and you keep writing for her, she's going to find you. But just like a friendship, if you don't commit to that friendship, then it's what happens when you don't hear from your friend forever? I mean, you feel lost. You feel like you're not connected anymore and you have to reacquaint yourself. So write it down today and decide, who am I writing for? Make her real, make her feel like somebody, and show up for her. So thank you so much for watching this video in the Create Your Blog Plan, this series, and I'll see you on the next video.